Welcome to this week's Spinfoil Theory. We're about to take a dive into the lore of Destiny the game. Specifically, we'll be giving a high-level scrutiny to popular, emerging, and outlying theories, then judging them. With that out of the way, let's put on our Spinfoil hats and get a little crazy. Here comes this week's show. Recording.
Yes. Do you need to get one of those things that make your voice echo, so it's like recording. Yes, the really bad echo.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds great.
Yeah, right now I have to beatbox those bad echoes. But someday I'll have. I should invest in a little deck, little sound deck. Just be like, oh yeah, favorite. I could load up Destiny sounds in it. Just sounds you immediately know what they are. I feel like, not just in Destiny 2, what a lightsaber charging up sounds like.
Oh yeah.
That is locked in. I think the core memory depth charge to the thermal detonator too. That's a fun one. But anyway, welcome to the Spinfoil Theory Podcast, everyone. We are your hosts. This is LadyLucida Taylor, and with me, as always, is LadyLucida. How are you doing this week, Lucy?
Hanging in there.
Yeah, as best you can. It's a tough week.
Yep. Indeed a Rooney.
Yeah. But yeah, sometimes it's all you can do, and that's okay too. Yeah. This week, guys, we're here to, I think it's gonna be a follow-up to the sort of theme we've been doing of this season, which has been great. I know some people out there. Well, I feel like you know how they say you're never gonna please everyone.
Yeah.
I feel like Destiny is living proof of that, because someone is always upset. But I kid. We do have our moments where everyone is generally happy with things, but and then they quickly just skew back to the other way, a couple weeks later. But it's okay. I'm a Destiny fan too. I understand. But it's been a heavy season, and I think at least we can all agree, lore-wise, it's been great.
Yeah.
It has been absolutely great. We've gotten so much insight into characters in ways that I don't think we really could have done before, just because of when the story takes place and the relationship we have with those characters. But one thing, to follow up on our recent stuff, that we get to explore is the mind of Calus in the Duality dungeon.
Yes.
Now, a lot of the lore, which is one thing I really like about this dungeon, takes place while you're playing it, and there are these 12 little memories you can steal while you're in there. And it sort of tells you a lot of background, Calus's side of things, really, I think is a good way to put it, because you hear these stories in other places in Destiny, from this season and from before, and it's really just what's going through his head when he's doing these things.
Oh yeah.
And so, yeah, and it's really, because what's really cool about it, I guess, is a good way to round this off, is that you don't just learn about Calus. You learn about other characters through learning about Calus too. So just perfectly well done. I think in the sort of reward you get for seeking out all these different lore related items. But yeah. So when the dungeon starts, if you're not familiar, I guess maybe, spoilers ahead if you haven't played the dungeon, but go play it. It's great.
Yep. It's pretty fun.
Hit
it's
pause,
pretty
go play. Yeah.
Topsy-turvy.
It reminded me. Yeah, I really like it. So it this point forward, we're talking about the dungeon. So, warned. If it matters to you. I really like the mechanic of the two sides to navigating the ship, like in what I guess we can call the nightmare realm. I don't really know how else to describe it. It's full of nightmares, and it's the same color as the nightmares. So basically, what you do if you don't know and you've chosen to stick with us, is you navigate your way through this mishmash of Leviathan. Like, it's not, you're in Calus' like kind of like his mind, or like an echo of his mind. So you're not really navigating much through the Leviathan from the trophy room, but you're navigating through his memories in a lot of ways. And there's like a normal side where everything looks like sort of like the opulent way it used to on his ship. And then you have the nightmare side where you're no longer fighting loyalists, you're fighting the Red Legion. And typically one of the mechanics, especially when you're in like a darkness zone or like a combat area of the dungeon, the nightmare is like starts to collapse in on you. So you got to do stuff over there in a limited amount of time. But and then all throughout it are these memories you can steal, and yeah, it's pretty cool. But the large part of the dialogue that you get, whether you find the memories or not, is Calus reflecting on being overthrown. I think really largely his relationship specifically with Keitel and Gaul is very cool. But you know what it reminded me of, Lucy? The mission with the going to the two different versions of the same place, typically as you like move through, reminded me of the time travel mission in Titanfall 2, except you're not like hopping around while you're doing it.
Yeah.
Like you go to specific places to do it. But yeah, I want it. I want to be able to like snap my fingers or do a thumbs up like an A-OK. and dig through it. But so yeah. You learn some cool stuff in this investigation, like you learn and you also actually I guess I should say it this way, starting over. You gain a lot of information through the items, many of the items, not all of them, that you get that you're rewarded from the raid. Also, like the sort of like nightmarish weapons, like the new purpose, or the new sword. What is the new sword's name? Heart Shadow. Also has some dialogue on it. So it's like it's not the opulent weapons, but the other stuff.
The more nightmare-y looking weapons from the dungeon.
Mm-hmm. And it's pretty cool. So like we learned some interesting things as we go through, and we were talking about this earlier, Lucy. Gaul was ready to kill Calus.
Yeah. In the dungeon he says that he would have executed Calus, but Keitel stayed his blade. Which is interesting. Very interesting.
I think it's, I've said this before. I think in the last couple episodes especially, I really think that Dominus is kind of like a shogun like power.
Yeah, definitely. I could definitely see that.
Yeah, like you still had Empress. She was still Empress. They didn't like completely get away from that, but like he had all like the day-to-day like real power. And then he just kind of, took the army and bailed.
Pretty much. He's like, yo, this army here, the Red Legion, this is dope, this is cool. I see that big golf ball over there, we're gonna go take it. I'll be back. And then he never came back. He died. Yeah. And then Keitel, I can just see her just with her hand in her hands like, what are you doing?
Because you learn, and we'll go over this a little more in depth during our episode on the Sever missions, because at the time of this recording, they're still a little in progress, just a little in progress,
just a wee bit. I think there's one more next week. I think.
Well,
because we had part 1 of Keitel's. Each one is 2 parts.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
we did 2 for Crow. We did 2 for Zavala. That was really
But the
sad, by the
Guardian
way.
needs one too.
Do they? Do they?
We did the thing. We're the only one who did the thing then that doesn't need to like do any nightmare stuff.
Oh, true.
I mean, I guess we don't have to, but there is an extra week there. That could be like the last week, but I think it's probably going to happen over the next 2 weeks just because from the time of this recording. Just because I know there's going to be like it's not Guardian Games, it's like the Solstice event is going to happen. Some events happening this season, and that's going to be like 3 weeks long. But I think just because there's 2 more of the bobbleheads. There's 2 more Calus robots to talk to.
Yeah, there's this week's and the next week's, and that's it.
Yeah, and so I think we'll get those 2. I don't think they'll save. I mean, they'll probably save something for the end, but like I think in 2 weeks you'll start seeing everybody with the Reaper title.
Yep.
Because that should be let go. But it really, kind of shifting back to Calus and Gaul here. It's really interesting, and Calus and Kaitel. It's really interesting how almost shocked he is by the betrayal. Because he sits there and he says, I'm paraphrasing, of course, and we'll link to the actual full dialogue in the show notes. So no worries if you need to hear it or you haven't like collected everything yet. We got you. He like can't believe they're doing this to him. Like he did so much for his people. Like the way he says it is it's really like he's hurt. Like he really thought he was doing everyone a favor. He freed the Scions. He stopped them having. Like, he made it so everyone could... He made everyone a little more opulent. Is, I guess, like, the best way to put it. And he was so surprised that even the Scions, like, even other people, would rebel against him. Wild. But, like, we've heard before that, like, oh, he pushed their society too fast. They didn't want to, they were just too set in their ways. Like, you can't take people who've been doing stuff for, how old are the Cabal? Like, millennia? Like
they're old.
Yeah. And just, like, upend everything. That's exactly what he did. And they punished him for it. But it seemed like... through some of the between what you hear, especially in the beginning, up like the first like handful of memories, I think it's like 3 to 4 that you get up into that part where you learn about. I think it's right before the first encounter that you learn about Kaitel letting Gaul live. You learn kind of from these between them and some of these lore entries that Kaitel had been shifting away from her father for a really long time, and he just couldn't see it.
Yeah, I think it was very slow. I think one of the last, I guess, straws that broke the camel's back, I think definitely was when Calus killed her dog. I think that was probably like, I won't say that was like the last, but that's like kind of, especially if you look at the lore tab for the weapon. Unforgiven. And she doesn't blame like her servant who Calus ordered to kill the dog. She just gets pissed off at Cal. Like, it's not like, if you, as we've seen in previous launches, if you don't do what Calus says, he executes you. So like, it's crazy.
Oh, yeah. He's he's often described in some of these lore entries, especially that are about Kaitel growing up, as sort of always being drunk and like just like saying something through like a haze of wine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's really not he's really not all there. He's like not really paying attention to her.
It's kind of sad. He's very much a neglectful father.
Yeah. And she even talks about that, I think, in that same lore entry. The start of it, she's just like, yeah, he was never really there.
That always makes me sad.
Yeah.
Keitel, you deserved better. Keitel deserved better. Calus, stop being such a deadbeat. Jesus. It's just sad. Makes me sad.
I think, yeah, he really is, and he does these things like he talks about why he killed the dog, and it's out of like jealousy.
Yeah.
He couldn't. Again, paraphrasing, but he was heartbroken that she seemed to love the dog more than him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Calus is just an egotistical maniac, narcissist.
Oh, 100%.
So
100%.
he saw Keitel loving her puppy as like, I don't say like a betrayal, but like, he's like, no, the only thing she should love is me. Like very greedy and selfish.
Yeah. And that's what's really funny is that's kind of, in a lot of ways, it makes perfect sense because that's really what he's offered Guardians. It is, you know what I mean? Like like why should you help the Vanguard in the last city? Come get paid. Doesn't that sound familiar?
Yeah.
Come live the opulent life.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's how he gets a catabasis. Man, it's so weird to know how that's pronounced now.
Yeah,
it was
no,
like neither of the
because
ways.
neither of the like everyone reads like, oh, it's catabasis, and no, it's something else, and I was like, huh? Like when Calus said that, I was like, huh?
I heard a lot of people saying catabases, and I was like, that doesn't seem right. Yeah, that doesn't seem right.
Yeah.
But catabasis. But yeah. So and then like remember like we made the discovery, and I think like then this season came out and they start saying it in game. I was like, ooh, yeah, see.
Like, oh. A lot of time for me, I'm just like, oh, that's how it's pronounced. And then I feel really stupid. I'm just like, oh.
Oh God, it was like when we heard Kabir's name get pronounced the first time.
Yes.
From Praedyth in D1. That was a big one. For anyone who doesn't know, Kabir is, I think, most likely, and it means something, and I want to say in like Urdu or a language that uses this writing, but like I've thought for some time, and I kind of got this confirmed with a few more knowledgeable people about language on Destiny lore subreddit here in the last week or two. But basically, Kabir, it's spelled Kabr, so people are like Kabir, like not sure how to spell it. But what's interesting about that is if you do like a 1-to-1 translation into Perso-Arabic text, often, or not often, but you can find, and maybe it's often, like I don't actually know too much about how shorthand is presented, but like a way of writing is like leaving out vowels and like certain letters so that you can like write faster, because like it'll be assumed what those letters are.
Yes, shorthand.
Yeah, it's kind of like a shorthand. So in this case, like, and it's actually like Kabir, like a AW, because they just write like the major sounds. So in this case, that would be like the K, and it would be the Aleph. That's like the A where you get that sound from. And then like they would leave out the I, because it's just Kabir. And you just end it. And yeah, that was wild.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
The more you know.
Yeah, I noticed it. I noticed it once I heard it, just because at the time I was still in school and I was studying Farsi as my foreign language.
See, so you smart.
Yeah, I just tried some different stuff when I was younger. But yeah, so That was a cool one too. Shifting us back a little bit though, there's the one thing that's so interesting is you get to when you get to, I guess, like just post the first encounter, because the first encounter is a little weird. Like you figure out why he made Galron.
Yes,
And
Demon Baby, as I affectionately call
Demon
Galron. Well, I mean, we knew why he made Galron when Crown of Sorrow came out. That was in the lore. There was a web entry. But what I thought was really funny is the picture that they have. Like, they have, like, the banners for it. It's interesting is the picture showed a Scion at first, but they said they did that on purpose because they didn't want to spoil what Galron looked like.
You know, I'm thinking about this. I'm thinking about this. I think this is kind of conclusive evidence that Calus outsmarted Savathun.
I mean, did he?
I mean, how can he's the only person who seems to have gotten involved in some of her machinations and come out ahead and even in control of the thing that she like created to kind of like trap him and mess with him. He was smart enough to figure out he shouldn't put on the crown she gave him.
Yeah, that's true.
He made a clone, and all the clones are like this perfect swap of like him and his family's DNA.
Yeah.
So he makes a clone just so they can wear the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And this helps him in his quest. He then gets us, the Guardian, to go in and just like kill the thing while it's running amok. He's like, yeah, this weird, got out of control. And we're like, oh, we got you, buddy. Kill. And then he uses that aboard the Glycon to finally cross the threshold and commune directly with the witness. Like, he wouldn't be where, like, he's the only one. Either she helped him for reasons that have yet to be revealed to us, or he survived one of her traps and used it to his advantage.
True. You got me there.
Yeah, like he totally flipped it. We tweezed out the spicy theory.
A spicy take that Calus was the only person to outsmart Savathun.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting indeed.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next encounter is the vault encounter, in which you open something that should not have been opened. Well, that's what Calus says. Calus says there are some doors you cannot close.
Mm-hmm. I found that very interesting because it's an echo of his memories. It's like a portion of himself that got left behind.
Yeah.
And we're totally using psychometry to figure out what's going on. And I'm so intrigued by, because you know how I talked about, like, what if he's already dead? Or what if he's no longer alive in a way that we can perceive?
Yeah.
And I'm just starting to think, like, he's leaving echoes. He's dead. I'm starting to, I want to see how this season ends, because I really am starting to wonder. I'm starting to wonder if what we're dealing with is not
even Calus
just a
anymore.
nightmare. Yeah.
Interesting.
Because like everyone who's close to him is calling, like, the last since Witch Queen began, and he came through in Vox Obscura.
Mm-hmm.
I was playing through it again recently, and Calus and Kaidal talking about Calus in there is just like, yeah, this doesn't make any sense. Like, my dad's a lot of things, but he's never done this before.
Yeah, for sure.
And then this season it gets into, he's serving something. He's acting like he's no longer in it for himself. Every
Yeah.
other thing that he's done was for him. And so I think in a lot of ways what a lot of people see from that is that, he's become a disciple. And I think that's a really strong, I think a lot of things are pointing to that. No argument there. Or at very least, I think we can all agree, even with what I'm saying, he is a tool of the witness now.
For sure. For sure.
No argument there. It's just, it seems that I think what he did was, how he can inhabit stuff. I think he must have inhabited the egregore.
Maybe.
Because now they're also using the egregore to spread his consciousness, which is fucking ooh.
Creepy. No, thank you.
He's a giant cordyceps monster. We're slowly turning into Last of Us.
No thanks.
And so yeah, it is just absolutely wild to me that he has been, I guess, as successful as he's been.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Calus, by and large, has been like a joke to everyone. Like, yeah, we're not going to worry about this. Yeah, do what you want. You can't do shit. Like, well, just go murder him if he tries to pull something. Have fun on the Leviathan Guardian. Like just a lot of like no one really taking what he seems to be doing seriously. And I kind of like that just out of nowhere. Like you have in the Light and Dark saga, you had this dude who was like, hey man, I heard you guys were pretty cool. Like, I want to see what you can do for fabulous prizes. Like, let's go. And I liked that he had like this loose connection to the bad guy from the Red War campaign. But now that it's been fleshed out, it's a little wild because everything he did, even using us, was to serve a purpose. Like when he came into the Soul System, he came here with a pretty, all things considered and looking back, like hindsight being what it is, that was a pretty strong plan.
Yeah.
Like the whole time he's been here, he's been like emulating and working on different ways to become disciple, to be witnessed. And he did it. From using the Guardian, from using his shadows, like everything. It's really interesting. He really thought the shadows were kind of like a backlash, right? Like a lashing out, but that comes after he like just rides the out of control Leviathan to the edge of the universe and gets a taste. Gets that clarity of what he should do with himself now. And it's very much like, he figures out what this next level of life is through darkness and disciplehood. And he immediately is like, yeah, no. Now it makes sense. I had to be exiled. Like, I deserve to be the last Cabal.
You definitely see like his personality change as from like when he was emperor to after getting exiled and then meeting the witness. You see like this definite shift in his like motivation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a shift and it's a it's like a cruel focus. Like he's doing it for revenge. It's like a revenge thing now too.
True.
And he just does not have any remorse for anyone he's going to do stuff to. Oofed. I really enjoyed obviously like you pointed out, in Unforgiven, the text, how he kills her dog,
Mm.
and starts to go by it. But I enjoyed that, you see this, this scene. I think it's in New Purpose, where Gaul has won another victory in the fighting pits.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he's coming to dine with the emperor as like part of his reward. And he shows up, and like it sounds like they have almost a like a decorative pet
Mm-hmm.
as like a status symbol or something called a chittick. And she doesn't care for her. She's like squishing it, like throwing, like ringing it about. It apparently doesn't have a spine.
It's squishy.
So, yeah, it's like a little. It's like a decorative slime that they, like in Dragon Quest. It's just a little guy. I guess it's like part of their formal wear. Fuck that. Gaul doesn't wear that.
Yeah.
Gaul shows up wearing basically his armor, I guess, and not putting up with that, not changing who he is for Calus. And I think it seems like almost it's past. She's already like kind of looking down on her father and all this, but it's really interesting. Like she kind of decides like she's gonna be like Gaul. Like she's not gonna be like her dad.
She wants to be cool.
Yeah, she like idolizes him. Yeah, because she what is it that opens up with her playing with the chittick? I guess like it's a sword, but like reenacting what she had seen Gaul do, which was I guess tear off the his opponent's head. Not cut, tear.
Seems a little much, but
Twist
okay.
and pull, right? They could have just killed him, but no.
Gotta be extra about it.
Gift, right? And then there are some interesting things. Is you get the Deep Explorer Guild, which is the Hake themed gear from the dungeon, and it's the Deep Explorer series, and I'm pretty sure it's the same.
Yeah, the
across all
lore
three.
tab. I think the lore tabs are like maybe slightly different. Maybe I don't know because I've seen people on Reddit combine all of them into like one big. I think it's because each armor piece is like a part.
Redacts different stuff.
Yeah, I think.
Oh.
What is interesting is that it seems like the Cabal species are kind of like seahorses and kangaroos.
Mm-hmm.
Where like it looks like the males, because like he talks about having like a little pouch.
Mm-hmm. And she crawled up. Yeah, his brood pouch.
Yeah, and quote, "I did not see her mother for those 8 weeks. She stood watch outside my nursing chamber." So
Aww.
it seems like they're very much like seahorses, where like the male seahorses are the ones who kind of give birth, with air quotes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like they hold the child through its gestation.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had a hard time letting her go as she grew up.
Yeah. I think that's always hard for any parent to do as you watch your kid grow up. At a point, you gotta let them go. They gotta leave the nest at some point.
Yeah.
If you hold too tight, that's just gonna make them want to leave even more. So.
And it explains a lot of the feelings he expresses, in killing Milo. Because like his side of the story is pretty interesting. Like he does it to teach her loss.
Yes.
Like the way he tells it, it's almost like that this is what my dad did to me. Like this is how you learn to be an emperor, right?
Yeah. He's like you there are times when you're a ruler and you lose. Like that's And it's supposed to be hard, but like, I think Calus's way of going about doing it wasn't exactly the best.
Yeah.
He may have had somewhat okay intentions, but I think murdering your child's beloved pet to teach her loss is not the way to go about it.
Yeah, he didn't have to go all, gosh, that's what they did to him in the Halo TV series.
Oh no. Don't remind me about that. That doesn't exist. That doesn't exist in my mind. Master Cheeks.
Master Cheeks.
That's what I call him instead
you see,
of Master
that
Cheeks.
That is the USNC's ass. That is
No, don't say that. It's horrible. It is definitely an interesting interpretation of Halo's canon. I will just leave it at that. Because some people like it, and that's okay. Me personally, I thought it was an interesting interpretation of the Halo canon.
Yeah, I feel like people probably would have generally liked it if it's so. I'll put it to you this way, guys. As a fan, more recent fan, granted, but of the Halo series, it just felt like they wrote a story and then kind of slapped Halo on it.
Yeah.
Or maybe borrowed a couple things from Halo, but really just kind of like slapped some branding on it when they didn't really need to.
Yeah, that's my sentiment as well. I'm very much like, I just didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. It made no sense.
I think,
especially the ending. The ending, I was like, I'm sorry, what?
Oh,
okay.
Dude. Yeah,
we could do a whole special episode about the Halo show and
about
why
the Halo
it's...
thing. Yeah, because I mean, I don't why it maybe shouldn't have been called Halo, because I don't think the story by itself is necessarily bad. But it's just you have, especially if you were a fan of the games coming into it, or like you were mildly aware of the games, or any of the other extra media, you may have had some expectations that are totally fair.
Yes, I mean, you would assume that a Halo show would at least take some inspiration. And they took very little. And we could do a whole special episode where we talk about our opinions.
Do you want to hear a little prediction?
Oh no!
Because I think they're getting a second season.
They
but do you
are
want to hear a
getting
little
a
prediction
second
that
season.
you're gonna tell me to like don't put that out into the world?
No, don't tell me.
The only thing they're really gonna keep from the games is the rampancy.
Oh no! No. You're probably right. They're probably. I don't even know, man. I don't know anything. All I know is that
they keep is the thing that people like dislike the most.
Probably they'll just say, "Oh." I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know.
You guys asked us to do a bunch of stuff from the games, and now we've taken up pretty much everything from Infinite.
I don't know. It's definitely.
I'm sorry. Oh. I'm sorry, I shouldn't do that, but it's just like, when everything goes in the worst way.
Murphy's Law. Whatever.
Yeah,
that is literally my life in a nutshell is Murphy's Law.
You would almost like rather they had just chosen to not do a series.
Yeah. Pretty much. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, and make no mistake, if you liked it, that's fair too. It's just I think more we're just venting from the having expectations going in.
Yeah, like I'm a big like my first video game I ever played was the Halo Combat Evolved. Like that was the first game I ever played. So the Halo series kind of holds a special place in my heart. And watching it be, I don't know, changed a lot. I mean, I get it. You want to bring in new people. That's cool. But like, there's a tightrope. You have to balance where you don't want to alienate your current player base, but you also want to, bring in new people. I feel like they tipped the scales too far in one direction and alienated a lot of their fans because at least 343 came out and said this is a alternate timeline. The Silver Cannon. I'm like, okay, good. I don't have to think about it. Because it's not.
Dude, if they ever do an Infinite Master Chiefs, like Master Chiefs on Infinite Earths thing, where he gets to meet the other Master Chiefs, all the other ones are going to be so pissed this guy got to get laid and take his helmet off.
Yeah. Because, like, in the canon, air quotes, real canon, I guess, main timeline, I don't know what you call it. Master Chief doesn't care. He doesn't have time. He's just like...
He's kind of asexual.
Yeah. I don't know if he's asexual or that... I mean, you also have to remember, like, some stuff in the show was, like, the same. Like, they did have... In their augmentations, they basically kind of became... Well, they were disciplined, and they, like... I'm pretty sure the Spartans, they knew they got taken from their parents, but they didn't care. They don't, like, this is...
I want to say they were volunteered by their parents.
They were not volunteered by their parents. They were not.
Oh.
Spartan, here's the thing. Spartan 2s, they were I won't say forcefully. They were taken from their families, replaced with a Flash clone, that's what happened in the series. Spartan 3s, willingly, I say willingly with air quotes, it's kind of murky, because basically all of Spartan 3s were orphans. All of them. They were all orphans from the Covenant, and the UNSC was like, yo, kids, you want to get back at the Covenant for ruining your lives? Kids are like, yeah! They're like, all right, come with us. And then they became Spartans.
Yeah!
That's basically what happened. And then Spartan Fours are really interesting, because Spartan Fours, that's like that's like Halo 4, Halo Infinite era. They're basically soldiers, like ODSTs, people in the Marines, the UNSC, that are very, very good. Like Buck, for example. Buck he's not dead, is an exceptional ODST. He fought in Reach. He fought on Earth in Alexander. I think it's New Alexander. New Mombasa, sorry. Yep. In New Mombasa, like, he helped a lot, and he is an exceptional soldier, and as a result of his exceptional track record, he became a Spartan 4. Like, that makes sense. I know a lot of people harp on the Spartan Fours, but it makes sense to me, I guess. Like, I know a lot of people...
Decades after the initial Spartan program,
yeah,
that they can do it to other people.
Like they don't need to, like, take children. Like, kidnapping children and indoctrinating them into becoming Spartans. Human weapons is really messed up. Don't do that. Stop.
Yeah.
But I think, like, Spartan Fours, I think Spartan Fours are really cool. I like them. I just wish... I don't know. Because what is really interesting is in Halo 4, there was this little, like, story thing with your multiplayer Spartan called Spartan Ops, and a lot of people hated it. But now, with Halo Infinite, people are asking for that to come back, which is ironic, because you can never satisfy players. Never.
There's always going to be somebody.
Yeah. I liked Spartan. I thought they were kind of cool. But something that was really interesting in Spartan Ops is that, like, some of the Spartan 4s were very full of themselves. Like, oh, look at me. I'm a Spartan now. I'm cool. And it's like, yes, you're a Spartan, but doesn't mean you're, like, Master Chief level. Like, Master Chief, he's different. Also because he's a Spartan 2 and you're a Spartan 4. Different.
Although I think it's funny watching Buck suddenly be like a foot taller was pretty hilarious.
Oh yeah, no, it was kind of funny. I mean, they do get like some augmentations, a little bit, but it's not as. It's funny. It's also the armor makes them a little bit taller too. But what is really interesting is now Buck is no longer a part of Fireteam Osiris. He now has Alpha 9 back. His old squad of ODSTs that are now all Spartan 4s. And I'm like, yo, give me that.
We need that game.
That's what I'm saying.
I want to play it. I want to be the rookie again.
Oh. Ooh. Huh.
Yeah.
Huh. Huh. Unfortunately, the rookie is dead, unfortunately.
When did the rookie die?
In the comics, he died.
What?
Yeah, he's dead. He's dead.
Why would they do this?
Because I don't know, man.
What? Oh.
I'm sorry to break it to you. As soon as you said, "Oh, he can play as the rookie," and I was like, "Oh no, oh no, oh."
Dang.
Well, yeah, basically because they were going after some insurrectionists, and it turns out I think Mickey, he was actually pro-insurrectionist and betrayed them, and then Rookie tried to stop everything, and he died.
This is a terrible comic.
I know. But it's really interesting, though, because, like, Mickey, he did end up going to jail and everything. And
got caught.
So, like, he did get punished for that, for his crimes, and it's really interesting, like, that, that it's the whole squad, Mickey included, is now Spartan. But basically, I think Mickey is trying to atone for what he did. Like, he realized he kind of messed up
Killing
there.
the rook?
He didn't, wasn't the one who pulled the trigger. He was just kind of... I think it was, the insurrectionist leader is the one who pulled the trigger.
Lame.
I haven't actually read that comics, or book series.
Gotcha.
I'm not sure if it's a book or a comic lore, but I know that the rookie died because of insurrectionist, and Mickey was involved. And all of Alpha 9 got really pissed off at Mickey. They're like, bro, our homie. But
actually, you know what? Speaking of insurrectionists.
Yeah.
Bringing us back in.
Bring us back. Sorry about that random little Halo segue.
Oh, no, that was fun.
We'll turn that into... we could always make an episode.
It's a preview for a new episode.
That's a preview for our next special episode on the Halo series.
Just a taste.
There you go.
It's just a taste. Just a taste. The creepy radio just a taste voice. Okay. But speaking of insurrectionists, it's really interesting because I don't think I thought about this till today, but those nightmares that we fight.
Yeah.
I want to say that servant of Atzat. I want to say that's we've never met that guy before, have we?
I don't think so.
The Scion? That's got to be a Calus nightmare.
Maybe.
Because it wouldn't make sense. Because Atzat rebelled.
Yeah.
Atzat did not remain loyal. And I think it's in a Red Legion outfit, but it's kind of hard to tell sometimes with the nightmare.
The nightmare effect, yeah.
Yeah. But it's so interesting how much of this is affecting Calus in the same way that it's affecting us. Like in the Duality dungeon, which the second encounter is first one's Galron, second one is the
vault.
I think they're the Cabals,
vault.
the three different generals
of Amunarath.
Yeah. It's Kahak. So here we go. It's Kahak, sworn of Amunarath. Amonut, sworn of Molia Moli.
Yep.
And the nightmare of Uroa, sworn of Shayatet.
Yeah, and I believe those three people are all people who participated in the coup, if I'm not mistaken.
Let me see. Yeah, they all did. They all participated in the Midnight Coup.
Yep. Yipper dippers. So basically these are all basically generals or leaders of, I don't say generals, basically I don't say bodyguards, generals. Basically it makes sense because the coup against Calus. It makes sense.
Yeah, all of his nightmares are people who were attached to the coup. I'm guessing these are people maybe who led the charge.
Possibly, yeah. I can definitely see that.
Obviously, because the generals, the real leaders, aren't gonna lead from the front.
Yeah.
Except for Gaul. Everyone else commands their armies, kind of like in a more traditional way. I've noticed that Gaul was the only one who really liked to like go out and do shit himself.
He's like, fine, I'll do it very much Thanos-esque, fine, I'll do it myself.
Basically. But I think that comes with being like a gladiator. And like that being like how you show strength to your troops is by like, you know, rickety rocketing people, like destroying everyone, ripping off their heads. Tearing off. But yeah, so it's really interesting when you get to the vault, you meet these three generals who are all sworn to people who led the midnight coup, and I'm imagining they're like swarming in the room, probably very similarly to how they swarmed him. Because it's interesting, as you get up to that part, you go through places in the Leviathan I don't think you've been before, like the crypt, where all like his ancestors are buried in the Leviathan. That's how much they exiled him. They sent him with his whole family, except for Kyle.
Yes.
What were you saying though? Sorry.
No, it's really interesting that like they basically exiled him so hard, they basically put him in a crypt. That's basically what the Leviathan is. It's basically this giant crypt.
Yeah.
I'm like, fine, go away. We don't want to deal with you anymore.
Yeah. And I'm guessing the one thing that confuses me is I guess he developed the cloning operation on his own.
Yeah.
Which is very smart. But it was just like that there would even be the technology in there for him to figure out how to do that.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, come on, were you really thinking there?
Yeah, like you could have. I don't think he needed a cloning thing. I'm gonna be honest. But yeah, so you learn in that part that as I think we mentioned earlier, all of the clones are based on Calus's like familial line of DNA.
Yeah.
He like pulled out select ones, and I think that's who comes out to create the pathways.
Mm-hmm.
He like gets the best ones, and he's like, all right, you're gonna have like this guy's this and that guy's that. This guy's proteins and that person's proteins and her proteins.
I'm gonna take everyone's genes and I'm gonna mix it together in a big
and a little drop of my own.
It's like the professor who made the Powerpuff Girls. Gotta do this and add a little bit of this and a little bit of that and alakablam.
And accidentally add chemical X.
Oh no.
Oh god, the professor. Yeah, that's so funny. I haven't thought about that show in forever. Oh man.
I just think in memes. That's all I do.
I like it. What is it? Did you know he what is it? Mojo Jojo does the same scene basically where when he creates the Rowdy Rough Boys.
That's funny.
Yeah, he had Snip Snails and Puppy Dog Tails, and then he purposely adds the chemical X, but I think he pretends to do it on accident.
That's funny.
Add the little bit of chaos it needs. But so I just find it so interesting that, you know, he's got loyalists in there with him. Like, he has actual people to talk to, and then he immediately is like, I'm gonna, you know, start reading this for that, because, you know, we start fighting those Galron clones. I want to say that's who comes up the baths. Like, they just don't have the helmet on yet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The big baby that would come out.
Yep.
We were like, I remember the joke back then, like, I think before it was like really confirmed they were all clones, we were like, this guy was just trying to have a bath.
He was just waking up, you know, bath time, my favorite. I just got out of the spa. I am refreshed. I am revitalized. I am ready to kick butt. And then we just go.
Yeah, and then all these guys are just waiting to kick your ass as soon as you take the elevator.
Yes.
It's fucked up. We got them coming out of the bathroom.
Yep, it's kind of fun.
And so, yeah, we get through that. We get through the vault. We navigate our way through the Leviathan a little bit more, and you start to, as you get through the messages, you start to find that he's kind of at this point in the memories, he's starting to, after because I do think that's probably how they all like crashed in on him like that in that vault room, is they all just like they all showed up with all their boys, start kicking his ass. He's like, oh fuck.
He's like, oh no.
Yeah, stop! Don't do this,
Pretty much.
guys. Yeah.
I thought we were homies.
Yeah. And then he talks about how he kind of collapses in on himself. He just gives up. And he's especially hurt that Kyle betrayed him. Like, he genuinely, I think she's his Brutus. Like, that, her just doing it hurts more than what happened, I think, to him. And I think that's largely due to, like, narcissism and a lot of other things his character shows. But, yeah, he's, like, sincerely hurt. And then I think it's as he reaches the edge of the universe, as he steps outside the Leviathan and is witnessed for the first time, that's when you start to hear this sort of like clarity in his thoughts. Like, I think that's the first time in that whole dungeon, and this is right before the last encounter, those last couple memories that you can pull. That's he doesn't sound like he's behind that haze of wine.
Yeah.
Like, he finally sounds sober. Like, we are used to hearing him. Because it's so funny, like, we see him drinking that wine, but that's not really him. It's like a mechanical automaton.
How does the mechanical automaton drink wine? That's the real question.
I bet it's like drinking whatever fuels it.
Huh? I could see that. I just was like, wait, if he's a robot, how does he drink the wine? Because I'm stupid.
Yeah, I bet it's whatever fuels it, because I want to say when you shoot it, it's like that dark liquid.
Yeah.
And then when they're all busted up, like that liquid's kind of like coming out.
True.
Or maybe it serves some purpose if it's not the power source, but
who knows?
Yeah. But that's when the change happens. That's when, and you go in, and I think it's really cool, I think, to see, it does appear to be like a different Kyle than what we're used to seeing.
Yeah.
This Kyle's almost like fighting Gaul in a lot of ways. Just without his light gimmicks.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. She, like, jumps around, finds you, and then hits you with the big gun. Stompy stomp. Yeah. Stompy stomp. You can't take her down. Well, not without a lot of work. But, yeah, it's pretty interesting. And I do find that the shift in his focus to... It's also where I believe he notes that, why shouldn't I be the last?
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah. Well, because what I really appreciated about it is he's saying this in the way of like, well, they don't want to be Cabal. I'm the Cabal. The Cabal are their emperor. Like, they're just pretending.
Yeah.
Is what it is how it sounds to me, like what he's saying, and it's a really interesting take. He's like, well, no, you guys, why shouldn't I be the last one? You're not even us anymore.
Yeah, it's definitely really interesting, I think.
Well, I wonder, do you think he knows about, like, he's got to know what happened to Tora Bottle?
I don't think he cares anymore. He doesn't
Yeah, he
care.
doesn't.
He's all like, damn, bro, that sucks. Anyways.
Yeah. And if he's ascending to discipleship, because I think that might be part of it. I think he might not be all the way there yet, whatever he currently is existing as. Because he is driven. He is very driven and acting, like I said, in ways that don't normally suit him. And he's trying to get that his consciousness to that pyramid ship. Who do you think that ship belonged to? Or is it just like one of the many that the witness holds?
No idea.
It will be interesting to find out, or at least see what he does with it, because yeah, the helm is starting to get overgrown too.
Yep, I'm a little worried about that. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, that seems like it should be that seems like it should be more worrisome, especially as we discover that's how he spreads his consciousness.
Yeah, I'm a little like, hey, Eris,
Hey.
can we,
She doesn't care. She's not on the helm.
I know, but it's
No,
like,
I'll talk to you through the thing. It's fine. Like, it's doing what? I have another call. Click.
oh no, my connection, it's breaking. I can't hear you. Bye.
It's like a video thing, and she's just like crumpling chips. Oh God, it's such a bad connection.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes, because it does end with, I think in some ways, I think the dungeon actually ends with, even if it's just for an echo of Calus, us doing for that echo of him, that, because if it is an echo of him, it's an echo of him before he ascended, before he changed fundamentally at the edge of the universe. But I think we helped that echo like work out some shit in the same way that we're helping the
Did we unintentionally help Calus become a disciple?
I think like even without this dungeon, yes.
Oh no.
I think everything we did, well, like it's like earlier with him outsmarting Sabathun, because he got us to help. Honestly, like I really hope we do get to do the Guardian's nightmare, and I hope it's Calus,
That'd be
because
funny.
we should feel guilty. Calus would not be where he is without our help, at least canonically. Or it'd be neat if there's at least like a little acknowledgement there, if you were like a vet and you like played through all the different stuff in D1. You know how they like have like the more spicy dialogue sometimes. I think that would be a cool little nod. But yeah, we should be paying attention, because I think this was important for predicting.
It's definitely
what's
interesting to
going
go
to
into like the
happen.
mind of Calus, because we don't really,
Yeah.
I mean, we know, but we don't really know.
Yeah, like we do and we don't, and is scary. And it's so weird he leaves such a strong echo, but I guess like even... And he left such a strong echo in his special statue for us.
Yeah.
Huh. I always thought it was funny. Do you think that one, the gold one, is like a proto? Because it always seemed more clockworky than all the others. Like you could almost like hear the steam whizzing when it like turned around and he started to talk to you through the can.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. So I think, yeah, it's really interesting going inside of his head and learning how he got to where he is, and it's so interesting because it all stems from him trying to change the Empire because he knew it wasn't sustainable. It all stems from, it's like Calus's story is like an asshole who tried to do the right thing, but it backfired on him because he's an asshole, and now he's being like the biggest asshole he can possibly be to everyone who did that to him.
Yes.
He's like, God damn it, the one time I try to do something for you assholes. This is what you do? All right, fine. I'm just going to be the last one. He went straight to Highlander after that betrayal.
He's like, I've had enough.
Yeah, of all of you. This exile does not protect me from you. It protects you from me.
Pretty much.
Oh, man. Okay. Lucy, you got any final thoughts on Calus and his journey and his
journey to
things we find in the Duality dungeon?
Disciple, I
Yeah.
guess. I definitely think Calus is a very interesting character. Definitely interesting. I like that as we've encountered. I mean, we first encountered him in the beginning of year 1 of Destiny 2, a little bit, and then we've gotten to know him more and more and more. And now I'm like, I don't know about this cat. Like before, I was like, oh, he's cool. You know, he's gold. He's opulent. He's got that drip. You know, he's cool. He's cool. But
Right?
now I'm just like, maybe becoming friends with Calus wasn't the best idea. Maybe this really is all our fault.
Ooh. Having second thoughts.
Yeah.
I think I agree with that. I think for me it's been, I've always enjoyed Calus's character. Even coming into this season, I was really happy to see him back. And believe me, I do not sympathize with him at all. He's a bad character, but I just think he's really well written. So hats off to you, Bungie, once again, for your creative teams. Your creative team's work on Calus and this season, because while we work to steel ourselves against these nightmares radiating out of the moon, and explore places of like mental health that we've touched on before, but I really like that it's been expanded to more characters than just Eris. Even though she dealt with like 5 of them, and she's probably looking at us like, man, you guys are weak ass. like oh, you only had to deal with 1. That's weird. I had 5.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
It's weird. Oh, just 1. Yeah, I know. 1 could be a lot too, but 5. 5 is what I had. So I'm really glad that we get to do that in this dungeon with the bad guy. You know, we get to hear their inner monologue as they kind of, you know, in the same way that Calus upended Cabal society, they did it right back to him.
Yeah, definitely.
And it was only when he, you know, another great example is, remember we were talking about disciples. You know, he was at his lowest when he was finally seen, when he was finally witnessed. Just like Rolk.
Indeed.
Oh, man. So yeah, similar theme, similar journey. And honestly, like, kind of similarly to Rolk's backstory. Obviously, Calus is very different, but you find moments and passages where you have sympathy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a great read. It's a great read. I think, you know, during our investigation, we definitely had a cool experience. Like, what did I say? Like, there was definitely some stuff I didn't think about till we got in here, but you know, we knew he got ousted and we knew he got sent into exile, but I guess we never really considered how that actually affected him because he seemed fine.
Yeah.
But we only met him once he had a renewed purpose. And, like, no wonder he didn't care about, like, trying to reassume command after we killed Gaul. Didn't you kind of expect that? Think it was weird? He didn't even try to get it back?
He's just like, eh.
Yeah. Didn't even try. He's like, no, keep killing them. Fuck those guys. Yeah, so... okay. Got any shout-outs this week?
Yeah, I guess. You can go first, though.
I want to just take a moment and draw attention to and give a shout out to all the women in the United States who were incredibly dealt a blow to their personal choices and freedoms this week. And it looks like the road ahead for the people responsible for that aren't stopping there. We deserve so much better, America. We deserve so much better than this that we have. So yeah, that's real life, and it affects every woman you know. So
yeah, I was going to
big deal.
Say something similar. And
sorry, I didn't mean to steal your
No,
thunder.
no, it's okay. I was just going to say that this is a really bad time for everybody. And this overturn of Roe v. Wade affects marginalized people a lot. People of color, especially people in more conservative aligning states. And it's hard because some of the Supreme Court justices have flat out said, oh, this isn't the end. It's just the tip of the iceberg. We're going to go after gay rights. We're going to go after contraceptives. We're going to go after everything. And it's really disheartening to see this, frankly, abuse of power is really what it is. These Supreme Court justices, they lied under oath. They're more concerned with power than they are with actually upholding democracy. And it's... Personally, I think they should all be... Not all, but like the conservative ones that lied under oath saying, oh, we won't overturn Roe v. Wade. And now, look what just happened. And this and that. I think they should personally be impeached, but I am just one person. And it's just really disheartening, as I've already said, because, like, as someone who is in a same-sex relationship in a conservative state, I very much worry for my safety. And safety of other people who are in similar situations or worse situations. Like, it's not going to get better unless we fight for it. That's really all we can do.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So yeah, that's
Sorry to end on like a really somber note there, but
it's been heavy, yeah.
It's been a rough week.
Yeah.
I mean, at least on the plus side, some companies are giving you benefits for gender reaffirming care
states,
and reproductive rights. Bungie was one of them. Good job, Bungie. Yay. Like,
Yeah, good for you guys.
yeah, it's just screaming internally because, oh man, it makes me very angry. And I don't care if people get upset or cry and say, oh, think of the unborn children. I don't care. Think about the people who get raped. Think about the people who, like, they're not financially ready to have kids. Like, contraceptives fail, dumbasses. Like, just makes me really frustrated. I could do a whole rant about that for like 5 hours because I'm just like, people are stupid. And you shouldn't force your religious beliefs on other people. That's not America. America, like, we're supposed to, like, for being land of the free, not exactly very free, are we? That just frustrates me a lot. And
yep.
Yeah. It's really, like, all we can do is really, I guess, we have to do something. Sitting here and doing nothing makes us complicit, I guess.
Yep. Yeah, it's been heavy. It's been a real heavy thing. So yeah, you can't do nothing.
Yep, can't do nothing.
Can't do nothing. Don't stay quiet. So with that, everyone, obviously, actually, we've been affected, and you probably are too. So yeah, you take care of each other, take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And don't forget that you matter, you make a difference. And we'll see you next time.
Yeah. See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Toodles. Hats off, Guardians. That's it for this week's discussion. Have any questions or comments about this episode? You can reach out to us on Twitter at Spinfoil Theory, or write us an email at spinfoiltheory@gmail.com. If you'd like to read our show notes, check out articles, listen to past episodes, and more, be sure to pay us a visit over at our website, spinfoiltheory.com.
The Lore Network.